As always, we do this in part for the people on the call, but also hopefully people will watch it later and be able to refer to it so that the OMs don't have to answer a bunch of questions. That's the whole idea of all of this. So anyway, hi, Chrissy and Bozeman. Look at that. Bozeman's got 2 folks. That's good. Hi. No smiling today, okay? I can't handle it. All right. Very good. Mr. Cheslick is on. I like that. That's good. We got some Twin Falls in the house then. So David, as a Twin Falls person, this is about 90% geared to you, and then 10% is not going to be geared to you. So just be okay with that. Yours is going to work just as well. It's just going to look a little bit differently. But there's a couple things we're going to go over today. Both of them are sort of publications that I think everyone should be using, both from an information standpoint as well as a presentation standpoint. And so before we jump into the listing presentation, because that's going to be the bulk of what we talk about, we're going to talk about the quotables, which is something that Coldwell Banker unleashes, I would use that word, every year. Sorry, that they put out every year. That, hi Jennifer, that talks about the successes in the company, some of the things that really well. It represents our company, and the knowledge in there will help you be a better agent. I would say MDs and OMs, if you're on this call, it is something you can use as a recruiting tool when you've got an agent on the line who's like, I'm not sure about Coldwell Banker, send them this. It's really good stuff. So we're going to just go ahead and jump into that right now. I did send it to all the MDs and the OMs yesterday. It's about an 8 megabyte file. So it's a little bit big, highly email. Just something you've done for me, like what? Clog up your email on a daily basis with junk? Sure, you're welcome, no problem. Like that's sort of my main function, I think. At any rate, your OMs and MDs have it, and if anyone wants it, I'll send it to you, but I'm probably not going to send it in mass, however you say that. But we're going to take a look at it right now, okay? So I will ask, let's see, Shawnee, give me a thumbs up if and when you can see my shared screen. Yes, excellent. Okay, quotables. Every year we do this, they put this out. It sort of catalogs the year that was. It updates some stats and everything like that. This does live in IQO, by the way, and I'll show you how and where it lives so that if you can't find an email, you can always go into IQO and get this updated version of quotables. All right, so we're just going to, I'm not going to read everything, but it's just going to talk about the Coldwell Banker corporate culture for 2018, a summary of Coldwell Banker facts and figures for 2018. It's got up-to-date numbers, and like you're sitting in Montrose, Bob, I get it. You're like, what do I care about the size of, it's 90,000, whatever, because when you're talking to people out there, to be able to say that we have offices in 44 countries, 3,100 offices, 92,000 agents, that matters. I'm not a Godzilla fan, but I do think that size matters. And when you can bring the entire corporation to your business as a loan agent, Telluride or Montrose or Twin or whatever, it helps. You're up against other offices who are like, oh yeah, we're big. And no, we're big, but we're not the big like the Keller Wilson model, which is like, hey, can you breathe? Come on, right? We're big with good agents. I didn't mean to slight Keller Williams. So anyway, this is updated as of 12/31/18, so it's pretty up to date. You can see all these places, and it's just an attempt to make sure everybody knows what's going on with the brand. All right, statistics as of the end of 2018. This doesn't rank us anywhere. That's for Real Trends to do in May or whenever that comes out, but these numbers are awesome, and they put us in the top 3, I think, again, in terms of the real estate industry. Number of U.S. transaction sides, 709,000 deals were done in the U.S. in 2018 by Coldwell Banker agents. That, excuse me for a second, is a great number. it probably doesn't mean a whole lot if there's nothing to compare it to, but I think maybe Keller Williams and maybe is it Home Services, whatever, probably did more. They did in 2017. I think that probably carried through, but I do think this is a top 3 number. Average U.S. sales price, $347,000. The key here is that it's 16.5% higher than the NAR average. So Coldwell Banker does a better job of buying and selling real estate at a higher average sales price. That's a useful thing to know. Total U.S. sales volume is $246 billion of real estate was transacted by Coldwell Banker agents in 2018. $246 billion. So in other words, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, working with me means you're working with one of the biggest and best and most productive companies in the country. Okay, that's how I would use this. Some global luxury stuff. Number of U.S. $1 million plus transaction sides, over 30,000 with an average sales price of 1.9 million. That is the industry leading number. We sell more luxury real estate, $1 million and over residential properties than any company out there. And to me, that is as important as any of these other numbers, because whether you're doing a $200,000 lot or whatever, you can talk about, look, by listing with me, by working with me, you get luxury by association, because Coldwell Banker leads the industry in luxury sales. So even though we're not putting this on as a luxury listing, but it gets the benefit of all the other luxury activity that my agents, my company does. So it's going to improve the way your listing looks out there. That's how I would say that. And we have 92,000 plus agents in the Coldwell Banker jersey. It'll be 93,000 if Julie Thurston in Vail keeps recruiting the way she is. She's bringing on like 3 a day or something. She's like Mother Hubbard or whatever. Okay, so those are the numbers. I know it's not drilled down. It's not about CBDP. It's not about Colorado or Idaho or Montana, whatever. This is just U.S.-wide. Pretty good stuff. Not going to go through all these, but they pinpoint some of the highlights that the company, some milestones, that's the word I was looking for. You can read through this at your leisure. Again, I'll show you where to find this when we're done. Some stuff in here about seller leads. If you don't know what those are, you can ask your MD or email me and we'll get you set up to be receiving CBX seller leads. Talks about our new COO. Not named Teresa Pemberton. I would have said you should have Teresa Pemberton as the COO for Coldwell Banker, because she does everything, and she can do everything. So that's the sort of look at the year that was in terms of milestones. They've spent a lot of time talking about the year of their Coldwell Banker Women in Leadership. Coldwell Banker is known as one of the most progressive real estate brands ever, and they maintain that by having a women in leadership program that is pretty substantial. This is interesting in here. More than 67%, I'm trying to read right here, I can't highlight it. More than 67% of the sales associate base is female. That's in NAR, that's not Coldwell Banker. Nationwide, 2/3 of agents are women. Which I guess I just didn't know the number. That's probably pretty accurate here in Sun Valley. I don't know about your markets. But says only 46% of the broker owner population is. So there's a pretty big discrepancy between the sales agent realtor number and the broker number. And so Coldwell Banker is committed to fixing that when possible. And the line here I like is, our mission is to ensure that no woman within the CB network ever experiences a glass ceiling. We're taking direct aim at the leadership gap. We want all women in real estate to feel unstoppable. Okay, and so Mark Corner, you're sitting there like, I'm a guy in Bozeman. What is this? How does this apply to me? Because I think that, especially the way our culture is right now, like to be able to talk about, Coldwell Banker cares about how we do business from the inception in 1906 to this very thing here, I think makes us a really great company to work for. So that's all stuff about the women in leadership. Some web statistics, the CBX listing experience. We've got trainings online. We'll put more on there about using CBX and the CBX seller leads. We haven't seen any success with that yet, but it is a program that we're hoping to see some sales generated from that pretty soon. Again, if you want to know about it, you can email me. Coldwell Banker brand is the #1 most visited real estate brand online. These 2 asterisks, this comes from Score Media Trends, okay? But we are almost, we're over double Remax and Century 21, triple Keller Williams. I don't even know how to pronounce this one. And then Berkshire Hathaway, we're about 20 times them. So when like in Bozeman, I know Berkshire Hathaway's got a good footprint, I think is what I've heard. Talk about like, that's great, but we get 20 times the activity online. So, okay. All right. Social engagement. Over 500,000 social followers across all major social media platforms like not our Facebook, but CB Facebook and YouTube channels and all of that kind of stuff. 14% increase in YouTube likes year over year. Again, this is corporate, this isn't CBDP, but it's good stuff to be able to know as you're talking about people about listings. Facebook post reach more than doubled in the last year. Lifetime video views on Facebook, 17 million. And YouTube views, 95 million. It's pretty awesome. Global luxury, we already saw some of these stats, 30,000 plus transaction size of 1 million plus, more than any other national real estate brand. $162 million every day is transacted by Coldwell Banker agents in the luxury space, $1 million or more. $162 million every single day. Okay, here's some of the significant sales. Boy, we went over this in Twin Falls yesterday. That's kind of funny. I feel like I'm having flashbacks. The Razor House. I heard that sale was a close shave, but I think they got it done. So, and then thank you, Mark. Saw the smile. Thank you. I don't know if Chrissy smiled, but at least one person in Bozeman gets some of the humor. Coldwell Banker University, just touting the AMP program, which you could take online if you want. I know some of the offices have offered it. We've seen a 31% increase in listings and a 35% increase in closed sales by agents who have gone through the AMP program. That all lives in CB Exchange. You can ask your OM how to find any of this CBU stuff. And then the heroes, we call it the Angels, the Distinctive Angels program, but Coldwell Banker dedicated to service in the community. So that's just a little nutshell there. Okay. That's quotables. Do you understand why like this wouldn't go to your clients necessarily unless someone's wavering about working with you? I don't know, but it's just good stuff to know. I think it's a nice piece. It's attractive. It's pretty clean for the most part. So this is something you all have access to. And so your question is, well, where does it live, Mr. Direkensvetigation? Okay. Like so many things, it lives here in the files in your IQO, okay? This is an underused drawer in your filing cabinet, but tons and tons of things live here. And sometimes you can get a little lost. It's a little bit like a hall of mirrors, but I'm gonna try to show you pretty easily where this lives. So you open up this drawer, don't go to your home folder, don't go to the shared folder. I don't know how to use those things, and I stay out of them, okay? Documents library. This is where everything that you'd ever need to do real estate lives, okay? So I click on that, and in just a moment, I'm gonna come in here and I'm gonna see all these folders in the documents library. This is where it's a little overwhelming and not always super intuitive. But what I wanna show you is that the quotables is a marketing piece that Coldwell Banker did. So the place it makes the most sense to be in is in marketing materials. Shawnee, you can override me if you want, but it does. I didn't even put it in the folder. It's just down here at the bottom, 2018 Quotables PDF. You can come in here and download it anytime. All you do is click, and you're going to see that download starts. It's right here, and you can grab it. It's not a link that takes you to another website. It just downloads it here. Remember, it's 8 megabytes, so it'll take a little bit of time to download, but that's how you can go get this. Okay, Shawnee?
I'm listening.
Okay, I thought you unmuted and wanted to interject here. Okay, so while we're in this marketing folder, I'm gonna go in reverse order now and show you this is where your listing presentation lives as well. If you're ever out of the office, if you're vacationing in Hawaii and someone calls and says, hey, I wanna list my property in Bozeman, and you're like, oh shoot, I wanna get them something, you can come to your IQ office and you can send them the thing from here. You're sitting in Hawaii drinking a Mai Tai and partying with a luau, and your client in Bozeman can get the listing presentation. That's pretty cool. And oh my God, marketing, you guys are the freaking best. And I'm going to show you why marketing's the best. I'm going at this backwards, but I'm so excited right now I can barely spit. So I'm talking about Bozeman, so let's go to Bozeman Marketing Materials, okay? I'm going to show you something that is about the coolest thing in the world. Even the noise is cool. Okay, I can come in here. Look at how awesome Shawnee and her department is. The AVP was updated a couple days ago. That's your $200 a month to get all this beautiful stuff, including unbelievable world-class speakers like Jeff Mays and Josh Kolonowski, and then Steve Olson. Like, those are the best speakers you're ever going to have at a road show. Anyway, the AVP is there if you ever want to see what that is. OMs and MDs, you ever like, oh, I don't know where that is. It lives here. Marketing packages, those CB 1s, 2s, and 3s live here, updated just this morning by the inimitable Shawnee. Market reports, they all live here. Kirsty, I know Bozeman's a little bit weird about that, but everybody else's should live here, so I'm not going to open Bozeman's because you guys are so crazy up there with your MLS. Anyway, listing presentation. This is what I want to get to. Oh my God, this is great. I can come here and I can either have the download. I can click here and just like the quotables, I can download it and I can send it to as a PDF. But oh my God, this is way better. This is the coolest thing. Is this going to work, Shawnee?
Yeah, better.
Good. This link here is the slickest thing since the ice I fell on this morning. I'm going to click on this, and you are going to be amazed. Okay? Isn't that amazing? No, this isn't amazing. This is the link that you can copy and paste into an email and say, hey, seller or client, I want you to take a look at our listing presentation. When I get back in the States, we'll talk about it. But here's a little sneak peek. Look at what this thing does. I'm going to click on it. Oh, this is so pretty. I might start weeping. I didn't even know FlipSnack lived before yesterday or before our presentation Tuesday, and now like I'm gonna invest in it. Here is your listing presentation. Virtual, online, not a PDF that someone has to like scroll through. That's so 2018. This is 2019. Look at how cool this is. And oh, I can do it full screen. I'm not going to do that because I don't want to lose all of you. Did you hear that? Oh man, it's like a bite of an apple too. So cool. Here's your listing presentation in all of its glory. And it's the Bozeman one too. Dude. Just listen. I love that. All the way to the end. Now, that to me, folks, is unbelievable that we have that, and it's for all of the markets. It lives in IQO. You can grab this anytime and grab the link and send it to someone. Send it to yourself and put yourself to sleep with that cool noise. I don't care, but man, Shawnee, I'm not blowing smoke here. This is the coolest thing I've seen in a long time. So I'm just congratulations and just thanks so much for all of that beautiful work that you all do on a daily basis. But this thing takes several pieces of cake. Or, since it was Pie Day yesterday, several slices of pie.
Hey, Derek, we even went a step further. So I thought about this the other day. If you go up in the right hand on the quick link, I know you're drooling over there, so exciting. And then on the quick link menu, drop down and click on the first one. I just updated this because I just tested it. Go to the first listing presentation 2019. Click on that one. And it's going to open right up to your area's listing presentation.
And I want to send this to someone. This is Sun Valley because I'm a Sun Valley agent. I copy it. I put it in an email. I make it nice and pretty. I say, hey, take a look at my listing presentation. I link the 2 words listing presentation. They don't even have to see all this nonsense here. Oh, my God. Shawnee, seriously. Seriously. That's so good. Nice work, marketing, and on behalf of everybody that deals with everything, just that's fantastic. I couldn't be more thrilled about how that looks. That's level 10 service right there. Okay, we didn't come here just to pat Shawnee on the back, although she deserves it and all of her staff deserves it. Hi, everybody that's joined since we started sharing. Marketing department is amazing, says Shelby. Yes, they are.
Thank you.
Okay. So, but now let's talk about that listing presentation so that everybody knows what's in there and knows how to use it, why to use it, when to use it, where to use it, with whom to use it, and what parts not to use, perhaps, because it's 34 pages long. So it's a sizable piece of equipment. And there are listing presentations where, you know, Keith would talk all day about, well, if you're dealing with a D, you want to do it this way. If you were dealing with an I or an S or a C from the disc test, you know, depending on who that client is, they want to know more, they want to know less, they want to not know anything about that, but all the stuff about this. So for you to know what's in the listing presentation is really, really useful. The worst thing any agent can ever do, you hear this all the time, but it's true, is, oh yeah, here's the listing presentation, and just hand it to them and not know what the hell you're handing them. Practice on yourself, never practice on the clients. That's why we're sitting here today. We're going to look at each page. I'm not going to read each page, but we're going to look at each page, and anyone can ask any questions, and we can figure out the best way to talk about each page or the best way to ignore a page or whatever. Okay, so that's the whole point of the next 25 minutes or so, is to really see what we've got and figure out how best to talk about it. Before I do that, I'm going to show you, except for Twin Falls, and Tori and David, that's because you guys, and Linda, that's because, I don't know, you don't have these. We still have these hardcovers from last year. This is the hardcover cover for your listing presentation. Every agent gets 5 unbound sets of a listing presentation. Yep, David, there's the one that you guys are going to use. So either today, yesterday, or Monday, each agent will get their 5 listing presentations. Whitney put them all in envelopes with their bios in them. She's so sweet. So everybody got their 5 free listing presentations. And the booklets, the hardcovers live in the office somewhere. The OMs know it. They know how to do the whole heat it up and whatever. So I'm showing you this now before we get into it, just so you see how this gets put together. So you get your bio, made by our extraordinary marketing team, with testimonials on the back. You can put this in if you want. You don't have to. You can put it at the front, you can put it at the back, put it in the middle, put it upside down. Just don't call me Bill. And then you got all this. And if it's a dumb listing that you don't really care about, you don't even have to use all these pages. You can put in 3 pages. If you know the person's going to sign, don't even use the thing, because once you put them in here, you can't unput them, whatever the term for unput would be. Once you glue this thing together, okay, it's glued together, and then you can't take a page out, you can't add a page, and then it starts to look hokey if you try to do that. But basically, you take the pages, you slip it into where this yellow slot is, debit or credit, and then you go to the machine in your office, and you put it in there, and you flip a lever, and it's like frying a burger, and it doesn't taste as good, but it brings more bacon. That's how you do your listing presentation. Super professional. This is top of the mark, folks. No other office, no other company does anything close to this, plus has stuff living online that makes cool noises and has all of it. Oh my God. What you can't do online is personalize it. You can't take that link unless you're super smart, and there's probably a few of you on the call that could do this. You can't take your PDF of your bio and slip it into that already created link unless you do a whole brand new link. Okay, so please don't ask your OM or your MD or your director of education to do that, because the answer is going to be no. That's
or your marketing coordinator.
Okay, I guess she's not as great as I was saying, but so you can't personalize the online thing, but you can personalize this one to your heart's content. Okay, all right. Any questions about the process? And I know I've really glazed over how you put it together. You slip some things in here. It's got a glue binding. Every office has a machine. Sarah, you're our newest OM. If you don't know how to use that, you can call Chrissy or one of the other OMs and figure out how to do it. Then you put it in, you flip the lever for 5 minutes, and then you go. Some agents will do this and make all 5 of them right now. Don't do that. Don't do that, because then they're done. The flip side is, don't have a listing appointment in 4 minutes. And you put it in this way and it glues together that way, and just, it's ugly. Be prepared. Don't do this in a rush. Okay, do it a day ahead of time, and know which ones you're going to talk about for the particular listing. Okay? Any questions about process before we look at content?
I got one for you, Derek, or maybe
all right, Mr. C.
Shawnee. Wondering if where our bio lives, if we can access that in a PDF form to print more of them ourselves.
Your office manager has access to those, so she's got all of the agent bios that were approved and ready to print, so just need to receive it from her. She can send you a copy of it.
Cool. Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Chrissy, is that true? Okay. And I'm only asking not because it's Chrissy. I'm only asking because sometimes with the glut, and that's the wrong word to use, but with the amount of stuff we have, we're not always sure. So OMs, make sure you know where those things are and can respond to those. And if you don't have them, reach out to marketing so that we don't have any static in that regard. Okay. Any other questions about process? And I know I went at it backwards, but I hope you understand why I went at it backwards, because today's the Ides of March. Today, right, the Ides of March. Beware the Ides of March, and I don't know why. Because Caesar got killed today. Okay. We ready? What do I want to do? I want to share my screen, so I'm going to do that. I always feel weird sharing my screen, like, hi, everybody, and then my hand on the train as we're pulling away with tears and rain coming down. But I'll be right here. Share. And what do we want to do? We're going to look at Bozeman's just because I've already downloaded it and it's sitting here and it's ready. Nope, where'd it go? Want that? Let me do it one more time. Bozeman listing presentation. Now, all of these are again, thanks to our unbelievable marketing department, all of these are market specific, okay? And they had to have a cover of some sort in the digital one, so they just made this really nice, attractive, clean blue one. I'm going to shrink it a little bit so that we can actually see the whole thing one at a time. Okay, so this is obviously not the cover that I just showed you. This is not the hardcover cover, unless you're in Twin and you've got yours looking like that. But the online one, the digital one, has to have a cover, so it looks like this. Okay. That's really the only discrepancy that I've come across so far. Okay, so each of these line breaks is a page. Do you understand why using the flip book is more attractive than having to have someone go like this? I'm going to do it this way, though, just because that way we can focus on one page at a time. And as much as I love that noise, it does get a little bit noisy doing that over and over. Okay, so mission statement. Twin Falls, I don't know if we've covered this, but I hope you understand and know that we have a mission statement with Coldwell Banker Distinctive Properties, which I think is a beautiful thing. It's one of the things that really attracted me to the company in the first place. And this leads off our listing presentation. Our mission statement describes who we are and how we do business, and it's a really good thing. Okay, so that's page one. So here's what I want to do. I want people to say, wait a second, what about this? Here's my question is, when you're doing a listing presentation with someone that doesn't really know you or your company, do you read the mission statement with them? There's no yes or no to these things. I just want you to know that each of these pages has something that you can talk about and leverage if you need to. What you don't want to do is read the whole thing to someone, bore them to tears, make them think, I don't want to work with this lady, I don't want to work with this guy, because she read everything to me. I'm not dumb. So if I were doing this, my script would be, I'm not going to read this to you, but I work for a company that has a mission statement, and we are committed to the passionate delivery of truly remarkable service. I love working for a company with a mission statement, and that's what you're going to get from me when you hire me to sell your house. Truly remarkable service. It's in my mission statement. Okay. My commitment to you, again, here are the page breaks. I'm not going to say this every time, but I just want visually people to understand what's happening here. So my commitment to you, you're not going to read all of this stuff. And we'll talk at the end of whether you leave the listing presentation with them, whether you send it ahead of time, I don't know, but we'll talk about that at the end. But these are things. So if, again, based on the client you're talking to, what do they want to know? What do they really want to know about you? Do they care about responsiveness, maybe? Do you think they care more about loyalty, the expertise you bring? So you're not going to hit every single one of these bullet points because you don't want to bore them. But what you're going to do is maybe highlight a couple that you're really, really good at. Or highlight a couple that you're not so good at, but because it's here, you can say, oh, and I'm really good at this because it's here written down. And it'll hold you to a higher standard, I think. Okay? Okay, so next page, and forgive me for not having it like face-to-face, but it just won't make sense. Why list with Coldwell Banker Distinctive Properties? We are in the top 7% of all CB companies worldwide. We are in the chairman's circle is the language for that, which means we are in the top 50, which means we get a lot of attention, which means, seller, anything you need, we get, and we get it done. Why are we in the top 7%? Because we have awesome agents, an awesome company, an awesome marketing department. We get the job done. Okay? Power in numbers. Okay? This you have to figure out how you want to talk about it. Obviously, Bozeman does not have 287 agents. This power in numbers is company-wide. You work for a company that right now has 287 agents. As of the end of the day, it'll have 294 because Julie's not on the call. She's obviously recruiting. Awesome stuff. And this compares to your local market of Keller Williams has only 100. Berkshire Hathaway has 100. Pure West has, 25 or whatever. So Mark, for instance, you're sitting here, this is the Bozeman one. You have to figure out if and how you talk about this. You can't look someone in the eye and say, yes, we have 287 agents in our office. But you can say, my company, the reason we're able to have this great listing presentation is because my company is big and we bring a lot of power to the listing experience, to the real estate experience. I have 300 agents in my company. However many you have in Bozeman, if you want to say I have 20 here in Bozeman, plus another 280 on the ground in 2 other states, it makes me a better agent. Figure out how you want to talk about it, or don't if you think, I don't know how I'm going to talk about 287 agents when there's only 20 in my office. It seems a little bit weird. Understand, these pages are all front and back, so if you do pull a page, like if you were going to pull this page out, I don't want this page, but then you lose this page too. It's a bit of a drag. So it is front back. Keep that in mind when you're thinking about anything that you want to customize in that way.
So Derek, I got a question. So I've had a couple agents bring up this page to me just this morning. And so since ours are already bound, what do you suggest?
I suggest, scripting it just the way that we said is like, in Twin Falls, we have 48 agents. Okay. And that represents about, 1/6 of my company's total reach. And just try to frame it as well as possible. Some agents, Sun Valley, I have to deal with this all the time. They're like, this doesn't represent Sun Valley. Well, I understand you're bristling about it, so don't even talk about it. Skip through this if you want. You don't have to flip through every page. But if you do want to talk about this, talk about the scope of the size of your company. Okay. My company is going to do $1 billion in sales this year. Twin Falls is going to account for 1/5 of that. What I'm telling you, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, is that the size and scope of my company allows me to market better. It allows me to be more sophisticated, connect with more buyers and sellers all over the Intermountain West. So this 287 number is actually useful to you selling a home on D Street in Grand Junction.
Okay.
Sales of properties over 1 million in Bozeman. Again, this is, we didn't sell 81 properties over $1 million in Bozeman. I would struggle with this as an agent. I probably wouldn't spend a ton of time on this page, but again, it's our company did over 81. We did 81 deals last year over $1 million. We know how to get the job done with luxury real estate. My house is only $250,000. I know, but you get luxury by association when you work with me because we get it done in every price point. And I'm going to treat your listing, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, like a luxury listing. Because that's what we do. Yeah.
Where these figures were really instrumental for me was 7 years ago when I first started. I didn't have the sales record of a Judy Peterson or Kelly Maves or, some of those big volume agents. And I heavily relied on our company numbers as a brand new agent. And I was very successful with that.
Excellent. So you'll figure out the right way to, I don't want to say spin it, but to script it and to make it yours so that it's part of your story and you're not apologizing for working for a really big company. Look at this, sales volume Bozeman. Now, again, figure out, you don't want to say, yeah, in Bozeman we sold $948 million of property, because you didn't. Like the Sun Valley market in total was $660 million. So that would just be weird. My company sold almost $1 billion in real estate last year. Here in Bozeman, we sold, whatever the number is, I can't remember if it was over 100 million. I think it was in the 70s, something like that. Whatever. So that doesn't put you in the top three here, but talk about your company. Same with the sides. My company, the company I work for, is so good. We did more sides than the entire Bozeman MLS as a company. You want to work with me because of all of this experience. So, Mark, that's a great point. Thank you for that. Unmatched social network. So this doesn't conflict with what we just saw in Quotables. Quotables came out yesterday, folks. This has been in production for a while, so we can't have 2018 numbers. Sorry, I hope it doesn't cause anyone to lose a listing. Jeez. So you can say, though, and it's even increased in 2018. And you can share those numbers if you'd like. This is pretty much the same as the one we saw in the Quotables. You might be sitting with someone that doesn't care about that, so don't go over this. Or you might be if you're with a millennial, dude, I want you to know, Mr. 30-year-old living in mom's basement, that we get the views, right? Have the dogs home for dogs commercial queued up on your laptop or on your iPad to go along with this. You want to know why we're the most viewed online real estate brand? Because we have killer, cool, best rated ads ever. And show them the dog ad of the hipster kid dude with the shaggy dog, and they fall in love and live happily ever after. Show them the hoops ad, because it's great too. Of the agent saying to the kid who, I don't want to move here, hey, we're going to put you can put a basketball court here. All of a sudden, he's the most popular kid in the neighborhood. Have those things queued up. They live online. And so when they're like, well, why are you guys so popular online? Because we have commercials like this. Okay? Every listing, everywhere, every day until it's sold. This is Shawnee's house, by the way. Exclusive websites, ColdwellBankerBozeman.com, ColdwellBanker.com, ColdwellBankerLuxury.com. Again, I just can't. We have 9 offices, 9 markets, and marketing did this for each market. It's so cool. You guys just are really good. Selling your home, okay? So some of these pages are obviously just big, bold pages that don't have anything to go over, but they're nice points to stop and rest too. Like, get to this and then, okay, selling your home. But before we move into selling and what that's going to look like, are there any questions about what we've looked at so far, right? So use these as sort of breaths to give them a chance to ask questions. If you see them glazing over, if you see them looking around or their foot fiddling, get going faster. Move through this faster. Don't lose. This is always a concern I have with our company because we have so much stuff. Do we lose people? Do I lose agents because we have so much stuff, information and training? Do we lose agents in that process? Do you lose a client because we have so much? It's so rich. You can't eat everything on the plate all the time, so figure out where that limit is. Your home on America's top websites. Okay. This, and maybe Shawnee, you have this, either you can email it to me, but someone asked, well, on 8 of today's most dominant real estate portals, but there's 4 here. What are the other 4? Do you know offhand, Shawnee? And if not, maybe we could get that info.
I don't. I can get it for you. I think it was actually part of Quotables. Because we pull a lot of our stats from Quotables, so we can check.
Okay. All right. Excellent. But, telling them that it's going to be here, and any home listed at $1 million or higher will be here. But your home, other agents, get peace of mind. You can also tell them, this is just the top websites. We push out to all local websites. You list with me, and your home is going to be on every real estate website that anyone could ever be looking at. Okay? Driving your homes. This is a beautiful photo. This is Shawnee's. This is the Snake River, actually. Is this? Looks like this.
Yeah. No, it's from Twin Falls. So if it is.
Yeah. And that doesn't. This is in all of them. Like, you're not going to get every photo. Oh, where's the Bozeman photo? I want the Rockin' R bar here. Just chill out, okay? Just chill out. I don't know where that voice is coming from. That's how my son and I talk to each other. Hey, can I have some breakfast? Make your own breakfast. Where do we find buyers? So this is real estate. This is just, any company could be saying this, but we happen to put it together and tell the seller where the stuff is coming from. why this is important is because you are the font of knowledge. You are the source of information. And the more of these numbers you have, who cares what the numbers are? The more information, the more authority you have, though, the higher you sit in their esteem. If this number on the left said 22 and then another one said 80, it doesn't matter. The numbers, the fact that you have the numbers matter. Right? Okay. Internet agent, sign, friend, builder, seller. Okay. And this is all taken from the NAR, National Association of Realtors. This isn't pulled out of Shawnee's derriere. Pricing strategies. Lots of stuff here. Again, please don't read this verbatim to your client. That would be insulting and boring. Strategic pricing, but have a script for this. Like that's what I should be saying every single time. Pricing strategies. Read this ahead of time. Figure out what part of this you like the best and hammer that one. Okay? Mr. and Mrs. Seller, this market is really good right now for listings that are brought on at the right price. Do you want your home to sit for 6 months at a price that's out that isn't going to work? Or do you want this thing to get a lot of attention and get multiple offers and be in a situation where in 2 months you are in your new home? That's what we're going to talk about today with the pricing strategy. I don't even know. I didn't read that, but you've got to have something ready to go with each of these pages. Strategic pricing for the best exposure and results. Fair market value, 95%, 5% over, 50%, 10%. Shawnee, help me with this. And I know it makes sense, but I'm sitting here and I'm like, dude, this equals 195%.
Let's see here. Let's say 95%. I would say that each of them, it shouldn't equal up to 100. Like 20% out of 100 would be 15% over. 30% would be, so 95% sell out of 100 at fair market value. 50% would sell at 5% over, 30% would sell at 10% over, and 20% would sell.
Lee, does that make sense? You've got a great brain for numbers. Okay, so it's not saying that 95% of the homes out there are at fair market value. 50% are at 5%.
It's actually supposed to be the slide where you can talk about pricing strategies so that you can say, so there are different types of ways to list your house. If we list it kind of where it should be versus on the high end or the low end, you'll have a 95% chance of selling it quickly. If you list it, sometimes there's the strategy of listing it under market to try to drive multiple offers, or there's the strategy of listing it really high to get the most amount of dollars, but that's kind of showing you it's a much smaller buyer pool that will then get sold.
So the 95, 50, 30, and 20 is who's looking at it?
That's like 20%, 100% of the buyers.
Yeah.
Yes. Got it. So if we're 5% over market value, only half of the buyers are going to be looking at your home.
Right.
And if we price it 15% over market value, and here's my market value, my CMA, whatever.
Right.
Only a fifth of the buyers, the potential buyers, are going to look at this.
Yeah.
Okay. So thank you so much for that. Buyer showings, educated buyers. Where's the one for me? Like the dumbass buyers. Is there a key for the dumbass buyer? Okay, 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, buyer showings. Okay, so it's the first 2 weeks, that's when things happen the most. Okay, so that's why we want to be in the fair market value to capitalize on the 95% that are going to come and see this in the first 2 weeks. If the third week comes, our showings drop pretty dramatically. So
you will not sell your home.
We will not sell our home. This is not the analogy you want to use, but it's like if you don't find your kid in the first 48 hours, man, ooh, right? So it's that same sort of idea. Find a better analogy. Oh my God, now I'm going to throw up. Marketing strategy. What a beautiful, I want to go eat there. French onion soup and leeks and stuff. Property marketing, a 360-degree approach, bringing more buyers to your home. Here's my strategy. Don't talk about each of these strategies. Talk about the two that you think are really important to this client or to you. Print advertising, really try not to lean on that too much. Let people know that is a dying breed and we're going to do less and less of that. But this is where you can talk about the CB package. Don't tell them how much you spend on the CB package because then they'll want to talk about commission. Just tell them you have a package that allows you to get photographs, postcards, flyers, Facebook posts, blah, 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 blah. Okay? A video, a single landing website. Listing concierge. Make sure you know how to say this word, concierge. It's French and it means concierge. Let's say a little bit of French and you're going to get more listings. Our exclusive marketing tools include, this is regardless of the CB package you order. So you're going to get these and you can just, touch on the pieces you think are most important. Again, this is for Bozeman. Great job. Listing concierge, is that, yeah. So this is the second page. Property, brochure and flyer, e-postcard, online presence, CBX buyer profile. They're going to say, what is that? And you need to know that this is a program that Coldwell Banker offers that allows you, if you use it, it doesn't come automatically. No one's going to send this to you. You have to create it yourself. It's going to help you determine where the buyers might come from for this home. Okay, and OMs and MDs, we have trainings online that go into this. It's not an easy, I'll sit down in 5 minutes and get a CBX buyer profile. The Coldwell Banker brand leads the way. This is us, CBDP. Transaction concierge. Talk about, why is this in my listing presentation? This has nothing to do with the selling of a home. Because you want to convince them that everything is going to be taken care of. Not only am I a great agent, but the team behind me is going to take care of all the stuff. And so if I'm busy, nothing gets missed. Probably don't want to say it that way, but the point of this, right, Shawnee, is that it's not just me. If there was a commercial, I don't know if it was a Marines commercial or whatever, but like you and then a hologram of 14 people behind you, marketing and transactions and contract compliance, all standing there, they got your back, right?
Like,
and that's
it's like power in numbers. Like you can, you've got a team working for your clients as well.
now this, to me, I would probably say, if I'm a Montana or an Idaho agent, or even no matter what, like my transaction team is in Colorado, okay? And so when things start happening, I just want to let you know that they know all of my systems here in Sun Valley. They know all my vendors, but you will get a call from a 970 area code. That's my team. They work in Grand Junction. So if not now, have that conversation at some point so that no one's caught off guard. Here we are in 208 and they're like 970, who the hell is this? Never let your client be surprised by any of that stuff, okay? Step beyond media, you can talk about the media, the in-house media team that we have. They do drones, videos, Matterports. None of this comes without a cost, seller, understand, but you need to know that knowledge is consumed via video nowadays. And so if we want to do a video, I have a team that can do that. We can do a Matterport, have one booted up if you're doing this, if you have an iPad, so you can show them a Matterport, tell them what it costs, tell them the benefits, that sort of thing. Smart home, you can talk about that. This is where a lot of people might start glazing because you're no longer talking to me about my house, you're talking to me about all this other stuff. So judge accordingly and don't overglaze. Don't add more frosting to the maple bar if the glaze is starting to happen. That's why these things are at the back. We don't front load with this stuff because it's maybe information they want to consume on their own after they have another cup of coffee. Reload and referral. I like, Shawnee, these photos look like they could be at any of these markets, and I really, really appreciate that. This could be a Sun Valley home. In fact, it might be. This could be a Bozeman home. It could be a Montrose or a Telluride home. That's really excellent. Nice job.
Thank you.
Reload and referral services. So you can say, we hire this family to help you pack. No, don't say that. But if this is something the client needs, talk about it. If not, don't talk about it, please. You don't need to add ingredients to the soup if the soup is already perfect, okay? This might be parsley that doesn't need to be in the minestrone, so leave it out. No other real estate company does more. Again, a beautiful photo. This could be a Grand Junction home or a Fruita home, a Sun Valley home, a twin home. I love that because it's meant to convey beautiful real estate without being place specific, but it doesn't look like Columbus, Missouri. That's awesome. Columbus, Ohio. Premium global brand. This is all from the Quotables. Excellent. Now, obviously, these are out of date as of yesterday, but only by a smidge, so please don't worry about that. Dependable resources. That looks like Bozeman. I don't know. Talk about distinctive angels. If this is something that's going to help you get the job done, get the listing, talk about our program. We give back to the community. We care. You're not just hiring some real estate agent who cares about their bank account. You're hiring a real estate agent who cares about dogs. We handle all of the details. Power of 4, what's the power of 4? If you need to, if you want to, talk about the home protection plan, property management, title, mortgage, or don't. Don't lose them here. Don't have the deal done and get here and they're like, wait, what? Is that okay for me to say things like that, Shani?
Sure, go ahead. It's your show.
You're like, jerk, we put this in here for a reason.
No, it's just like Mark kind of touched on earlier. It's really talking points for some agents that are brand new into the industry and that they need some guidance. I mean, you agents that are, you know, pros at this and have your listing presentations down, I mean, you're going to touch on the points that you want to, but we want to be able to help the agents that are brand new as well.
Okay. Real estate leader since 1906. If you haven't watched that, the inception, the creation of Coldwell Banker video, it's 2 minutes long. It's a beautiful, beautiful story. Is it relevant? I think so, because that's who we are to this day. 113 years later, we remain a company based on integrity, based on doing what's right for the client, just like Banker and Coldwell started in 1906 after the San Francisco earthquake. These numbers down at the bottom, I wouldn't hesitate, no matter my market, to say, and look at this. You're a Twin Falls agent. We have an office in Sun Valley. That's going to help you. We also have offices in really cool places like Bozeman and Telluride. That's awesome that you get to work with a person who has connections in such unique and fascinating resort areas, metro areas, so to speak. Would someone call them micropolitans? I don't know, Bozeman and Grand Junction and Twin micropolitans. And then there's the back of it. Again, if you do this by hand, it's here. And if you do it digitally, it looks like that. Okay. So what I want to make sure is and we don't have time to go into do you do a pre-listing presentation? Do you send this ahead of time? Do you leave this with them? You know, you have to figure that out on your own, I think. We do have a fan club that was based on that, so I can maybe attach that to the recording about the pre-listing experience. But that's the listing presentation in a nutshell. And we've started to talk about a listing presentation, not with the P word, but with the C word, which is listing consultation. Because what you need to really start thinking about you're doing here is you're not presenting, which is a very Vanna White thing, like, and here's this, you're consulting. And when you think of yourself as doing a listing consultation versus a listing presentation, it changes the dynamic, I think, from you being, here's all my stuff, to what do you need? What do you need from me? And then I'm going to show you how we address that. So when you think of it more from I'm here to serve you, not to bore you. You're a wait person, you're a servant. That's the best. Agents serve their clients. They don't present. They don't make the decisions. They say, what do you need? And I'm going to show you how we can fulfill those needs. Okay? So think of this as a listing consultation. And I think you're going to be even more successful than you already are in terms of delivering the message that your client needs and wants to hear. Okay? All right. So that was the listing consultation fan club. Yay. What do we need to know? Or what do we need to, Sarah, I'm telling you, man, that fur coat or whatever you're wearing, because I know you speak Russian, makes you look like, очень хорошо, you know, я хочу хлеб. That's all I could think is like you're in Dr. Zhivago's office right now or something like that. Okay. What do we need to know about anything that we've gone over? Excellent. Hey, no questions is good. Any teacher loves it when there's no questions because it means you've either put them to sleep or they got all the information they needed. Either way, no harm done. Here's what I'm hoping is we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 agents on this call. You 6 are the best. You're the smartest. You've got a head start on everybody. whether other people watch us or not, just know that hopefully you've been equipped with a little bit more understanding about what we do, why we do it, and how you can convey to your clients all the good stuff that we bring to bear, that you bring to bear as an agent. So that was the whole point today. Anything else you need from Shawnee or me right now?
Oh, Shawnee, we did not receive them. We got a box of marketing materials, but no listing presentations yet.
You got a box of marketing materials?
Yes.
That were
Like
shipped to you?
the samples?
Oh, those would have came from the road show.
Right. We got that yesterday.
Okay, I will check the tracking on it because they were mailed out from FedEx.
Yeah, there was like a 2-day period where we didn't have access from
To the
size
world.
70 to here. So
Could be. So they are on their way to you.
cool.
Okay.
I think I saw a video image of a UPS truck stuck under the snow on Rabbit Ears Pass, so that's where they are.
Could have happened.
Yeah.
Shawnee, we got all of ours. Thank you.
Okay, good.
And OMs, since we do have some newer ones, hopefully you have a station in your office where all this stuff lives. I had mentioned earlier that Whitney went ahead yesterday and put everybody's bio and 5 listing presentations in an envelope, said, here's your free, and she even made a sticker on the envelope. So here are your free 5 listing presentations. You don't have to do it that way, but make sure this stuff is easily accessible so you don't have to go into a box every time, and that the directions, I think those live in IQO, for how to use the heat thing all live, and it's easy, and you don't have to be bugged every time someone wants one of these.
And I would highly stress too for your agents to pick up their listing presentations every year. I mean, it's amazing how many don't get used. So you guys get 5 free ones. So take advantage of them. You know, we don't want to lose that perk. And so if we're not using them, then I order a ton of them. I order 5 per agent. So if they're not being used, use them, you guys. I don't want a big stack left over at the end of the year and going, you know, crap, nobody used them. So make sure you guys utilize them.
Yeah. Okay, anything else? One thing that we've seen agents do here is like put the CMA in here as well, or put, you know, personal stats, sales stats in here to sort of round out and make it more specific to the listing. You can do that. Keep in mind, this only holds, shoot, I can't remember what it is, but it doesn't hold 150 pieces of paper very well. Right? You're going to max it out and it's going to not look professional. Once you do that, then you're giving them that listing presentation. If it's a BAL, a big ass listing, that's probably fine. But just be thoughtful about that. Maybe have a secondary folder that has that information in it so that you can keep this and leave that. But you can't put everything in the world in that thing. Okay? Anything more? It's 11:58. Any Ides of March jokes? No? Okay.
Nothing. Nada.
Nothing. I put a post on today because it was so pretty. I put a photo. I don't know if it's any good or not, but Ides of March, Smides of March. It's beautiful here. So that's my joke. All right. Great to see everybody. Thanks for listening in, and feel free to pepper Shawnee or me with any kinds of questions. Nothing too detailed because, well, my brain doesn't have any more space for stuff right now. But we want you to be the best, and we think this is an unbelievable weapon in your quiver. So Shawnee, again, give your marketing staff, please, a huge round of applause, because this is the best I've seen.
Good.
So,
Thank you.
okay. All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a great weekend.
And bye.
All right.
Bye.
Happy St. Patrick's Day Sunday, too. You. Jennifer's like, yeah, baby.